Hi, my name is Ishita Dutta. I am a second year law student currently interning at LEXIS and Company. Today, I will be talking about the legal rights of the LGBT community in India. I have decided to speak about this topic because today is the beginning of Pride Month. So I think it is important for all of us to know about who the LGBT community are and what are the legal rights they have been provided by our Indian Constitution. The rights of LGBT has always been a debatable topic in India. The LGBT community has gained utmost attention of public after the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court of India in September 2018, in which gay sex has been decriminalized, which had been barred under an 1860 law imposed by the Britishers. Before going into further details about the situation of the LGBT in India, first we should be clear about the word LGBT. So this word LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender. Earlier this LGBT were known as the gay community, but later on other types of homosexual people and their communities also became the part of this, and now combinedly they are referred as LGBTs. Initially, this community was called the gay community, but later on it was found that gay community includes only men, and thus this category didn't accurately represent the ideal to whom it referred. It didn't cover up all other human beings who are not normal according to society's standards and expectations or are homosexual. So this abbreviation LGBT was introduced in the 1990s, which includes human beings who have a different sexual orientation than other people. The term lesbian refers to women who are sexually attracted towards women only. They are attracted to only female genders, like the gays are only attracted to male genders only. In LGBT, the B stands for bisexual, which represents those human beings who are attracted to both the sexes, the men and the women. And the LGBT of T stands for transgender, which is a term which includes people whose gender identity or expression does not match with the sex they were assigned at birth. There are various problems faced by the LGBT community in India in day-to-day lives in our Indian society. The main problem faced by the LGBT community is that they do not get accepted by the mainstream community, and because of this, differences are created amongst them. They face discrimination, inequality, harassment, unemployment, poverty, and a lack of healthcare facilities and threats in society just because they don't belong to the homosexual category. They also face a lot of difficulties in finding acceptance. They feel so isolated that it feels like they have done some kind of crime. They face inequality, discrimination in almost every place around the world. People mock at them by making ridiculous comments on their identity, body, structure and habits, etc. and make them feel very awkward and different. The LGBT people hide their gender by not disclosing it at their workplace just to protect their job, because many companies do not want to hire the third gender. So as to protect their job, LGBT community hide their identity. So there are many young LGBT face harassment, discrimination, bad comments, which develops a feeling of alienation in them and causes depression, dropping out of school or even homelessness. Such discrimination gradually lowers down their self-esteem and confidence, and they become isolated from their friends and family also. Even many LGBT children are not accepted by their own parents and family members, because of which they become homeless. LGBT community becomes a victim of hate crimes, and many countries treat homosexuality as a crime and consider it as illegal. There are a number of problems faced by the LGBT in society, which results into dropping out of their school, loss of home and family members, and depression, isolation from the society, and because of which they even attempt to commit suicide. So there are various recognized rights by the Supreme Court for LGBT community in India. On 6 September 2018, the Supreme Court of India unanimously struck down a part of Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code in Navtej Singh Johar and others versus Union of India. in which it criminalized sexual intercourse against the order of nature to exclude all kinds of adult consensual sex behavior. Section 3C77 has been criticized for discriminating against and disappropriation affecting the LGBT community and for not being in tune with modern morality. In this judgment of the Supreme Court, the emphasis was on the fundamental right of homosexual persons to live with dignity, without the stigma attached to their sexual orientation, with the equal enjoyment of rights under India's constitution and equal protection under the law. The decision of Supreme Court on decriminalization of Section 377 was based on primary grounds under the Constitution: right to equality under Article 14, right against discrimination under Article 15, right to freedom of speech and expression under Article 19, and right to privacy under Article 21. Right to equality, Article 14 of the Constitution reads as under: the state shall not deny any person equality before the law or equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. Though this article allows that distinction can be drawn, but it also mandates that such distinction must be based on intelligible differentia. The Supreme Court held that there was no intelligible differentia between people who are supposedly engaged in natural intercourse and those who are engaged in carnal intercourse against the order of nature. Right against discrimination, Article 15 of the Indian Constitution states it prevents the state from discriminating against any citizen not only on the grounds of sex, religion, race, caste, or place of birth. In Navtej and Johar case, the Supreme Court held that any ground of discrimination, whether direct or indirect, which is founded on a particular understanding of the role of the sex, constitutes discrimination under Article 15. Therefore, Section 377 was held to be discriminatory under Article 15. Right to freedom and speech of expression under Article 19 of the Constitution deals with the protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech and expression to all citizens. In this Navtej and Johar case, Supreme Court noted that Section 377 does not qualify as a reasonable restriction on an individual's freedom and expression. And right to privacy, Article 21 of the Indian Constitution reads that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to a procedure established by law. This article provides for the protection of life and personal liberty as a fundamental right to citizens for all India. The Supreme Court found Section 377 to be in violation of these constitutional rights, as the right to privacy couldn't avail by the LGBT community members. And after this historic judgment of the Supreme Court of India, India puts itself into the list of those almost 150 countries where homosexual activity is legal. The decriminalization of Section 377 by providing equal fundamental rights to LGBT community as that of other citizens was the first step towards recognizing the rights of LGBT community in India. In conclusion, every community and every human being should be treated equally, whether they are homosexuals or they are heterosexuals, because we are all God's creation. So there should be no discrimination on the basis of sexual characters. Our Indian Constitution provides fundamental rights to all the people, including LGBT community. It provides right to equality, right against discrimination on the basis of sex, right to life, right to freedom of speech and expression, right to privacy, and other religious and cultural rights. These rights are not direct rights provided to the LGBT, but can be interpreted as they are citizens of India. LGBT community in India and in all over the world deserve to be treated equally with dignity and respect. Thank you.